married, single, divorced, kids, toxic family. How to protect yourself against that. For all the married people in this room, I want you to remember one thing. We talk about this at Oola quite a bit. But if you're not working on your marriage, you're working on your divorce. Not even funny. 55% of Americans get divorced. If you're not working on your marriage, you're working on your divorce. So make sure you're investing time. Set goals. At Oola you set goals and working on your marriage. If you have a very toxic marriage, how to get out of that situation. How are you going to do that? How are you going to work through that? Field, I want to spend a little extra time on field tonight because this is a Young Living event. How many people do Young Living full-time? Like that's your gig? How many people want to do it full-time? Awesome. Okay? You are right here today. You want to do Young Living full-time. That's what you want. That's your goal. There were about 10 to 15 hands in here that are already doing it. They've already built the bridge for you. They've already built it with multiple systems. Social media, classes, talking to people, retention, whatever they talk about, they've already built it. It's writing it down, applying the oil, reading the affirmation, taking the action steps that your upline tells you to take, and start walking across that bridge. So if that's something you want to do full-time, who in here wants to be full-time Young Living within 6 months? Okay, I want you to come up here. You don't even have to come on stage. You don't even have to come on stage. You can give her a round of applause. So this is where you would put your goal on the sticker, just like that. So you have that. Okay. Then you write down action steps. So if you want to hit a certain level by a certain date, you write that down. I'm going to be a goal by this day, whatever. And then you start writing action steps. Every day, you write down 3 to 7 things that you're going to do that are going to lead you in that direction. Okay? So that's how that works. That's step 3. This is my affirmation band for a field. Okay? It says, I am pursuing my purpose in life. I want you to wear that. So you know when you have rejection, when someone says, oh, I don't know, you're like, I'm pursuing my purpose in life. I don't care. You can say no to me all day long. I'm pursuing my purpose in life because this is my purpose. And I think you also said this too on here that you don't know how many people are $300 away or $50 away from having a very stressful life and a very stressful marriage. So you're not just sharing oil, you're sharing hope, and you're sharing something that changes people's lives. And then you do what I do. You take an oil and you put it right on your hand. This is what I do. Just like that. You can have that. That's mine. You can have it. There you go. It's yours. And you breathe it in, and you read your affirmation and you read your goals. And take that oil with you and use it throughout the day. When you feel like you don't have the courage, when you feel like you can't take that next step, you apply the oil, breathe it in, and take action every single day. Awesome. Okay, round of applause. That's how that process works. So when we go to Oola, we take you really deep into that process and have you set goals in winning at your business. We want you to win at life, we also want you to win at business, and it's very important that you do that. If you don't want to do Young Living full-time, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a student, you love your job, awesome. Set goals on how to be the best stay-at-home mom. Set goals on how to be the best student. Set goals on how to be the best employee you can be. And maybe you get a promotion, you never know who's watching. Under the category of faith, your faith is your faith. And we see the best goals written in here. I'm going back to church for the first time ever. I'm joining a spiritual community. I'm going to start praying with my kids. I'm going to read the Bible. Whatever it is. I have my faith. Dr. Troy has his faith. Your faith is your faith. But it's very important. You cannot have a new life if you think that there's no bigger purpose for your life than walking around this planet. There's a bigger purpose for your life. Okay? Oh, you want to talk?
I want to talk about this. Eventually. We actually were talking about this.
Stop talking.
In our short time, like we each got to pick an F. Like we're going to talk about 2 Fs. And I want to talk about this one because we meet people. It's affected my own life in a positive way. And I think it's holding you back, this category, from your potential in your life. If you think about this category of friends, 80% of your energy is spent on 3 to 5 people. Just think about that. With a lot of people, you have a lot of acquaintances, people you know, but 80% of your mental energy is spent on 3 to 5 people. If we had time to write down 5 names on a sheet of paper, those are the people that you text, they're the people you think about, they're the people you email, the people you call, the people you creep on their Facebook. Those are those people. And here's the thing, if we had your body, we're talking about how smart the body is, your body knows, that's why relationships are called healthy or toxic. Your body knows if these people are good for you. So if you actually look at the first name and you read that name, if that person has been good for you, and they supported you and loved you unconditionally, and you've done the same for them, they're your cheerleader, you're theirs, your body has a physiologic reaction that's just warm and fuzzy. It's like an endorphin release. It's like, this person is good for me. And you go to the second name, same thing. I look at that name and I just feel good, they're amazing. But then you get to that name. And I know you got it in Florida. Because everyone's got one. And it's that name you look at, and for some reason you just start sweating. And your eyes dilate. And you just like want to, you're just like, why? They smile at me and they insult me all at the same time. I don't even, it's like a gift of passive aggressiveness and gossip and negativity and drama that you don't need. You don't need it. Life's too short. And they are holding you back from your potential. You're starting to believe their drama. And you're starting to believe their passive-aggressive ability to erode at your confidence. Oh, you're doing that multi-level thing? Good luck with that pyramid. You know, and sometimes it's just like, oh, I hope that works for you. I bet you're good at that. I mean, there's just this swagger, and it's like, that is not good for you. The cool thing, he brushed over family because that would take us 2 days to talk about how to handle Thanksgiving. So we have this middle way, maybe 2 days. But in friends, it's not easy, but it is simple. Technology allows you with cool things like unfollow, unfriend, block, and move on. Because here's the deal. If you did this, this is something we do to Oola, it's so powerful. If you had the time to actually write down those 5 names and you crossed out that one, because you've got one, you crossed out that one. The cool thing is that opens a spot in your crew. You got room. You got an opening. And as you sit here tonight, we talk about these 7 key areas. If it's your goal to grow your Young Living business, now you took out Miss Drama, and you have a spot for a mentor. Someone who truly wants your goals to be their goals. And they want to support you and see you win. And now instead of having someone hold you back, you have someone holding your hand and lifting you forward. So as we talk about friends, who has a vision of a good friend's goal that they could commit to? Raise your hand. Come on up, Ron. Awesome. So, you know what's funny? Dave's up here like, I'm gonna give you my, I'm gonna give you my personal. The reason we're giving you our personal oil is you don't have any out there. This is all we gotta give you is our oil. This is my friend's oil. And I'm gonna show you on a real. And we're dudes, right? So it's not so much of a system. I'm gonna show you, brother, what I do in the morning. Is I have my 7 big goals that I've set in Oola where I see them every day. Think about this. Like, I've taken 2 days to really step outside of the chaos of my life and say, this is what I want for my life. These are my unique goals and dreams. It takes me 20 seconds to glance at 7 stickers on a surfboard that I have sitting in the bathroom like that. And then I have a note card and I go, which ones am I going to work on today? Like, where's going to be my intention today? Because life's going to happen. If I walk out that door, it's coming at me. Emails, phone calls, life. So I'm going to make sure that I pay attention to my goals, and I write down 3 or more action steps. Then I look at those and go, okay, today looks like it's going to be a friend's day and a faith day, which it is today. We're hanging out with friends, and I have faith that I'm in the right room for someone, that we're here to give a message that's going to help someone.
Thank you.
But then, and this is why we're not technical, is slap it on or so we go like this, and we say the affirmation, I am blessed with empowered, healthy relationships. So what does that say? Anything toxic I don't want, I don't have time for, and I get my butt out the door and start doing that. So what we're going to give you is this, so you can write down a friend goal. And then you can write down what you're going to do tomorrow to go make that happen. If it's delete a toxic friend or find a healthy mentor, whatever you want to do, and then you apply to it. And I'm going to give you my friend back to remind you that this is important for you, and you go get it, brother.
Once again, Sarasota, I am amazed. If we could hook up any kind of GoPro system and see how enamored you guys are with Dr. Troy. I don't know if it's his suit, I don't know what it is, but it's just that Troy, he's talking about toxic friends, and I saw like multiple people in this room start to write down their friends' names. Sue, Mary, and then he says, okay, now cross off that negative one, and you're like, crap, she's sitting next to me. You're like, no, I circled you, I promise. You're amazing. And then there was a couple groups where you were just like looking at your names like, we're all amazing, like we made it, like we did it, like high five girls, like we're all amazing. And the funny thing is, if you're sitting there thinking all your friends are amazing, you're the toxic one. Tomorrow when you are like defeated and your phone's not working, don't go to AT&T. You've been blocked by everybody that you know. But set a friend goal. Set a friend goal. If you have toxic friends, get rid of them. If you want better friends, bring them in. You are who you hang out with. That's what my mom taught me very well. And also, if you can be a better friend, you can be that toxic friend. You can't wait for your friends to call you in the morning so you can start complaining about all the bad things that are going on in your life. If you're that person, you are that toxic friend, you call it out, admit it, and you start making change towards it. Oola fun is fun. Like, you should have fun every day. Just because you're an adult, just because you have kids, just because you have business, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, read a book, go outside, walk around with the kids, go to the park, go for a drive, whatever it is, you have to do something fun.
Well, we almost didn't make it. We were the only two guys on the beach in Naples in suits. we were on the beach. So here's where we are in the moment is we had to set two goals. The vision of Gary Young and Young Living in the partnership with Oola, and what we love so much about this company is we speak at companies all the time. And many companies squeeze production out of their people, they'll get new people. Young Living doesn't look at you that way. They want you, yes, to win at your Young Living business. Absolutely. They want you to just crush it, go for it. But they also want you to win at life. So what we want you to think about at this time, we had you set two goals. Think about, we had talked about 7 categories, but set 2 goals. One in your Young Living business, or business, whatever business you're in, and one in friends. But it can be in any of the 7F's rule. We want you to be thinking about that. As we've been talking today, what is that thing that's been holding me back from my potential? That thing I've been talking about, and I know it's the change I need to make to just release the blessings, release this awesomeness, release this Oola that I have inside of me. But here's what's going to happen, Sarasota, is you're going to leave, and like, I see it. I kind of start to see that I don't need to settle for average when extraordinary is within me. I can go get the goals and dreams I have, and my goals are uniquely mine. And you're going to run into these things. These are the 7 most common Oola blockers, which we take in depth in Oola Clues on how to overcome them. But just know when you run into them, that if you want to grow your Young Living business and you realize that maybe I should get on Facebook Live and you're paralyzed as you press broadcast because you're afraid someone's going to judge you or someone's going to whatever, or you're going to not like whatever. You're going to run into fear, you're going to run into guilt, you're going to run into anger, self-sabotage, which is a worthiness issue, which is a huge deal. Laziness, simple laziness. Envy of other people because they're hitting a rank faster than you. Focus, that these are normal and there is a system to overcome them. The cool thing is you also innately inside of you have these beautiful things called Oola accelerators. And these are the wind behind your back.
It's exactly that. Oola Clues is exactly that. It's really taking you into depth into the Oola blockers, but also embracing these Oola accelerators. Dr. Troy said you all have them inside you, it's pulling it out. And when I look at my life and I look at that board, gratitude, love, discipline, integrity, passion, humility, wisdom, gratitude. That's my work. There's no doubt about it that gratitude has had the most impact on my life. When I was at the bottom and I was calling my sister every single day, multiple times a day, telling her about how crappy my life was, what was she telling me to do? Be grateful, have faith. Be grateful, have faith. And I got the faith part, but I never understood the gratitude part. I'm like, how can you possibly be grateful for what I was going through at that moment? And you might be thinking the same thing. You might be going like, I go to a job I don't like, I come home to a spouse I can't stand, I'm supposed to be grateful for all this. That's like 57% of America. It's funny for a reason. You want to come up on stage? I mean, but how can you be grateful for that? And that's exactly how I felt like, how can you possibly be grateful for this in my life? And as I talked to Dr. Troy, then went up to the mountain, I started writing down my goals, started working on the Oola process. The same thing we did through Oola, started working through that process, and I started to see what my life meant and what my life was about. And as I started taking action steps to that, and good things started to happen, like I moved out of the Taurus and I got a minivan, dude, sliding doors, like you push a button, it's like, he made fun of me, I'm like, no, it's like you push a button, literally the door's open now. Like it's literally, they open and it's super cool. And I moved into a 2-bedroom apartment with 5 kids. And I said, you know what, it kind of sucks, but I gotta try to be grateful for it somehow, but I didn't get it. I couldn't be. I was mad, because I used to have an amazing house and cool cars and a wife, and I used to be married, all this stuff, and now I don't. But as my life started getting better, I call my sister like every 3 days, and then maybe like every week. The better my life got, the less I called her. And I was driving home from work, it was a Friday, I was driving home from work, and she called me. And I'm like, perfect, because I need to complain, he won't listen to me, and I just need to vent. I need to vent on how crappy my life is. So I opened up my flip phone, same Samsung phone, I said, hey Danette, what's up? And she didn't say anything. And I looked and it was connected, and I put it back up to my ear, and I listened, and I could hear her cry on the other end of the phone. And she's just this happy-go-lucky, full of energy person. And it wasn't a crying like she just got hurt. It was a crying where she could barely breathe. I literally pulled my car over, and I said, I love you, I'm here for you. Like, just tell me what's going on whenever you're ready. And it took her quite a while. And she got up the courage, and she got her composure, and she said, Jared has cancer. And Jared at the time is her 16-year-old son, who had this nagging back pain for about 2-3 weeks. And he went to the doctor, and they took X-ray, said there's a spot. And then they said they got to do an MRI. And they did an MRI that day, got him in, and said the results are that it's a really rare form of bone cancer, with a 5% chance of survivability. And Jared, we picture Jared at the time, 16, full of energy. He was an all-state football player, 6'2", shredded, a lot like me. And he was going to play college football, the whole thing. Like, he had it all figured out. And I sat there and I listened to this mom for about 20 minutes crying on now what? Because best case scenario is the chemotherapy and the radiation shrink the tumor in his spine, and they take out his lower leg bone, and they grind it up and they shove it in there so that he can function. That's best case scenario. That's the 5%. The other 95% he doesn't make it through. That's the 5%. And at the end of this conversation, I told her, I listened, and I didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say in that situation. And I said, let's be grateful and have faith that we'll get through this. And as soon as I hung up my phone, I literally wanted to break my phone. I'm like, how could I tell my sister that just found out her son has cancer to be grateful? So I started this whole process of hating this word more. And the next day when she called to say, hey, we're on our way to Rochester, we're getting tests done today, this is what's going on. The whole time she's talking, I'm listening kinda, but what I'm listening to is my head saying, hurry up and tell her you're sorry for telling her to be grateful. Say you're sorry, say you're sorry, say you're sorry. At the end of the conversation, I said, hey, Danette, I love you, and I'm so sorry that I told you to be grateful. You don't have to be grateful for Jared's cancer. You don't. We'll have faith, but you don't have to be grateful. And she said, you know what? Let's make that our word. No matter what, let's make that our word. No matter what Jared goes through, no matter what I call you on, no matter how hard I'm crying, no matter how many tears I'm shedding, I want you to tell me to be grateful and have faith. You know how hard that was at times? Jared lost all his hair, be grateful and have faith. Jared's lost 35 pounds, be grateful and have faith. The chemotherapy's working, yay, be grateful and have faith. They don't think he's going to make it through the night, let's just be grateful and have faith. He made it through the night, be grateful and have faith. The cancer's spreading, be grateful and have faith. Wait, it's under control, be grateful and have faith. A year of be grateful and have faith. Gratitude wristbands. She made me a gratitude doily that still hangs in my kitchen.
And he wonders why he's still single.
Yeah.
There's a dude in Florida that has gratitude.
That is possibly a reason. That could possibly be a reason. Hey, welcome to my pad. Hey, it's so nice that you came over to see me. Oh, doily, see you. She bought me this gratitude plate. You're such a jerk. She bought me this gratitude plate, but gratitude was her word, and every time I had to talk to her about it, I hated the word. Like, I literally hated the word. Good news is that after a year, Jared comes home, he goes to high school, he dresses for the football team. Obviously, he doesn't play because the fibula bone's taken out. He's on crutches. He falls in love, graduates, tassel across the stage, the whole thing, kills it. Like, he's doing great, and all this stuff happens. And then he's ready to go to college, and my sister calls, and she kind of had this somber tone. She wasn't crying or anything, but she said, Jared went in for his testing today, and his bone cancer's in remission. I'm like, cool, be grateful, have faith, right? But because of all the chemotherapy and radiation, he's developed leukemia. And I'm like, what does that mean? She goes, I don't know, we gotta go to Houston. And I'm like, is he going to college? Like, he's supposed to be leaving for college in like 3 weeks. No, he can't go to college, he's gotta go to Houston. And they're gonna start him on some treatments to get rid of the leukemia. And if his sister or brothers are bone marrow match, we're gonna be okay. I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. He misses a semester of school, no big deal. So Jared goes down to Houston. My sister and her husband and Jared go down to Houston, and he starts this process of chemotherapy to kill the leukemia. And my sister would call me 5 times a day crying, and it would be because she could never cry in front of Jared. He said, never cry in front of me. Like, we got this. He was safe, positive through the whole thing. And I would see her in a room just sucking back those tears, and she could barely get out that door. And it would just be like, oh, like just to see her go through that. Be grateful and have faith. Be grateful and have faith. Early part of December, Jared's sister's a bone marrow match. They're coming home for Christmas. And I'm like super excited to see Jared. Him and I were really close. Super excited to see Jared at Christmas. And I get home, sit on the couch. I had my 5 kids around me. I had these gray sweatpants on from the dryer. They were like amazing, right? You pull them on, they're warm. I was so tired. It was like 9 o'clock at night. And my sister called, and I said, hey, you guys back in North Dakota already? I'm coming back in a couple weeks. And she said, no, actually, we had to change of plans. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, we went to the airport, and we actually got on the plane, and Jared had a hard time breathing. And we thought, is he having like an anxiety attack, or like what's going on? They called the hospital, and the doctor said, bring him back. So they had to leave the plane, leave the airport, go back to the hospital to get checked. And the doctors told my sister that because of all the medications and stuff, his lung tissue is breaking down. So I said, what, now what? And she goes, well, Dave, I just want you to be the first to know that Jared just passed away in our arms. And I got the kids in the car, and I drove all the way back to North Dakota, 16 hours. And after about an hour or two, my kids quit asking questions. And I was able to drive through this huge state of Montana, pitch dark, no one out there, drove all night. And the whole time, I'm like, why would I tell my sister to be grateful for this? Why would I do that? I was so mad. I was like mad at God. I was mad at everybody. I'm like, why would I tell her to be grateful for this? 3 years of this constant stuff, and I was telling her to be grateful. And I walked into the farmhouse in the middle of North Dakota, nowhere. Like, literally, the closest stoplight is 72 miles from this house. The most amazing people in that area. She's a beautiful, amazing woman. I walk into this little farmhouse, and she's crying, like just a mess. She just got home to see her other kids lost their son. My brother-in-law, who's this big German guy, was just bawling. My dad and my mom, it's just terrible. Like, you don't even know what to say in that situation. And after a little bit of time, my sister said, I want to show you something. And she took me upstairs, and we sat on Jared's bed. And she opened his nightstand door, and she handed me a letter. And she said, when Jared found out that he had leukemia and had to quit college, drop out of college, and go to Houston to start treatments again, he wrote this letter, and I want you to read it. And I thought, man, this letter's going to be full of anger. Like, this letter's going to be, why me? And I started reading. He just wrote a letter to his family and friends. And as I kept reading, I got to the second page. And the middle paragraph on the second page, he wrote
together, collectively change the world with one single word. And how we do it is simple. It's not an election. It's not someone from the outside who's going to come in and just swoop in and make life amazing for you. It's you get busy working on you. And a better version of you becomes a better community, a better team, a better state, and a better world. And how that happens is you making a commitment. As we talked about these 7 areas, before your head hits the pillow, tonight, before your head hits the pillow tonight, you don't need to do it in this moment, you can do it in this moment, is look at your life in these 7 areas. Put a pen to paper on one. On one. And I have a feeling it's the one that's tucked in there so deep you haven't even put it on paper, or every time it comes up, you start to stuff it back again. Maybe it's a marriage that's holding on by a thread. Maybe it's a financial crisis. Maybe it's a health issue that you've been tucking away. I don't know what it is for you. It's different for everybody. But make that commitment to one positive change in your life. As we end our time with you tonight, I want to challenge you with 4 questions. Are you living a life that's balanced and growing? In all 7 key areas. In Oola life. Are you serving well? Are you making a difference? And most importantly, and that's what we're talking about tonight, because we know you can you do more? Henry David Thoreau once said, most men lead lives in quiet desperation and go to the grave with a song still in them. That song is yours.